now that I've got the floor in place and got the floor all bolted down to the trailer, there's a couple final things that I need to do to the sides before I put them up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. The first thing is I'm going to take off this reinforcing strip here, and I'm going to just epoxy seal the groove here and the edges of the plywood. I'm also going to do the final fitting on the bulkheads that go into these dados and just make sure that everything fits right, and do a little bit of planing, assuming. And then I'm also going to see if I can find the hole of where the wire comes down for my light switch, and so we'll get that done. That one fits okay. A little loose actually. That'll be fine. Alright, so this one's a little tight. So what I'm going to do is just take a plane, and actually on the other side, but I'll plane off the edge until it fits in there. Alright, that's a nice tight fit. And that's kind of how I want it. Okay, if you'll notice here, this is at the top of the door, you can see that, that this isn't a square edge. Well, I made my bulkheads and they have a square, and so I needed to put a bevel on the top. So I did that, and so now this is how it fits. So it's not absolutely perfect, but it's pretty close. And so there's some support beams that go here, and this supports the hinge for the hatch. And I didn't want the bulkhead to interfere with that, so I wanted to drop that below the level of the edge here, so I can put the support beams in. That should work pretty well. I'm also going to drill some holes here in the slots where these bulkheads go. And these are just for some screws to hold it in place. According to my records, here's the door frame. I should have made the electrical box for the wall switch right there. So I'll go ahead and mark it. And then we'll drill a hole. Hopefully I'll hit a void and there'll be some string inside. Well, there's definitely a void in there. Yep, and there's some string. So what I'll do is just change the bit out for a Forstner bit, and I'll drill a hole. That was something I did not want to do. I wound the string up. So that means I'm going to have to fish the wire down through there. I can see the bottom of the conduit, and so I caught the string on the drill bit and pulled it through. So I'll fish the wire up through here, and it shouldn't be too bad. That's why I put the conduit in. Alright, the last thing to do is put some epoxy in here to seal that up. And I just use a cheap foam brush again. Alright, now it's time to put the sides and the bulkheads up. So here is the trailer. I've got one of the sides temporarily put up in place. You can see I've made some temporary supports, so when I put the sides up, I can prop them up straight. I've also put a line here on the floor, and this lines up with the back of the bulkhead here, so I can get these things perfectly lined up. I've also taken some measurements so I know exactly where they are when they're lined up correctly. Let's see. I've also countersunk some, pre-drilled and countersunk some screw holes. These are for the bulkheads, and also some screw holes along the bottom to go along with my pocket holes that I drilled before. So now just got to get somebody out here to help me put these things in place so I can glue them up and screw them in place, and we'll go on to the next step.
Okay, just go up and guide me how far up.
That's good.
Am I high enough?
Yep. That's good. And drop it down. Okay, so here's the side all glued on. Sorry about that, I couldn't get a good shot of it. I was too busy trying to maneuver in this confined space over here, and so I will try and get a better shot of putting the other side on. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the bulkheads in for this side and get them all propped up ready for the other side. Okay, so putting the bulkheads on with one side up is pretty straightforward. So basically what I will do is I'm just going to glue and then screw them into place. Make sure you got the right side in there, and it's alright. So that one's on, and then I'll get the next one. Alright. Yeah. Hmm? Okay, perfecto.
That's all you need it for?
I think so. I think it's on.
Alright.
Woo, that was a hot job. Okay, so got them all up. Got some bracing on here. I found out I've got a little bow in both sides here, so that's not something that looks like I can pull out, and so therefore I'll just have to build the hatch in the back so it's just a little bit wider. I don't know that it's going to be very noticeable at all, but you know, when you build something you want it to come out perfect, but it never does. So, but that's just, it's fine. So here's the galley, and this will be a countertop right here, and there'll be storage down underneath, and up here will be more storage and whatnot. And then as you come around the side, so there's the inside, and got my temporary supports out. These are just some temporary spars to just kind of hold things straight, and so I'll be building a cabinet on the inside, and then we'll put the ceiling on.